You're back for another deep dive. Excellent. You're clearly someone who values getting to the heart of things, cutting through the noise to understand what truly matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's exactly what we're about to do, diving headfirst into a fascinating collection of sources you've brought us.
Indeed. This time you've curated a truly thought-provoking mix, all orbiting the intriguing possibility of extraterrestrial life and, well, the profound ways its potential revelation could reshape our understanding of, well, everything.
That's right. You handed us a diverse stack, a Reddit thread buzzing with summaries of Bashar's channeled teachings, a lively discussion on UAP about the societal shockwaves of disclosure,
Right.
the determined mission of Luis Elizondo, Christopher Mellon's urgent concerns about locked-away UAP data, an academic paper mapping the intriguing history of UFO archival collections, a Reddit community scrutinizing UAP videos for signs of fakery, a YouTube transcript where Abraham Hicks shares their perspective on aliens, and even a glimpse into Yahil channeling from a TikTok video. It's a real cosmic buffet.
It really is.
Yeah.
Our goal, as always, is to synthesize these varied perspectives, to pinpoint the key insights, and to deliver those surprising connections directly to you without bogging you down in unnecessary details.
Okay.
So with this extraordinary array before us, where shall we begin our exploration?
Let's start with a perspective that really stretches the boundaries of our usual thinking, shall we? The Reddit thread summarizing the teachings of Bashar.
Okay, Bashar.
For anyone unfamiliar, Bashar is described as a non-physical entity. Think of it as existing outside our typical understanding of space and matter, channeled by Daryl Anka, offering guidance from what's claimed to be an extraterrestrial viewpoint. Okay, let's unpack some of the core ideas Bashar puts forward that seem relevant to our cosmic topic.
What's truly captivating here is Bashar's perspective on the very fabric of reality. A central idea is that of parallel realities, the notion that all possibilities exist simultaneously, and the reality we experience is a direct reflection of our individual and collective beliefs. Change those beliefs, Bashar suggests, and you can essentially shift into a different version of reality. It makes you wonder if our collective beliefs about contact are, in some way, influencing our current experience.
So it's more than just wishful thinking. It's about actively shaping what we perceive as real.
That's the idea.
The summary also mentions something called the formula for living your highest excitement. That sounds like it could have interesting implications, especially when we're considering something as potentially exciting and paradigm-shifting as extraterrestrial life.
Precisely. The formula involves pursuing your greatest excitement to the best of your ability without needing a specific outcome. The principle is that following your passion aligns you with your core purpose.
Okay.
Now, if we connect this to the potential for extraterrestrial contact, perhaps embracing curiosity and excitement about the unknown is a way of aligning ourselves with that very possibility.
That's an interesting angle. It's about leaning into the wonder of it all. What else stood out from Bashar's teachings? The summary touched on the non-physical nature of reality, which is a concept that can really make you reconsider your assumptions about the universe.
It does. Bashar proposes that what we perceive as physical reality is, in essence, an illusion created by our consciousness. This isn't entirely new. It echoes ideas found in various spiritual and philosophical traditions,
Sure.
But it offers a unique way to think about extraterrestrial beings. Perhaps their existence isn't bound by the same physical limitations we assume. The summary also highlights the belief in extraterrestrial and higher dimensional beings actively playing a role in human evolution and spiritual growth, like cosmic tour guides, perhaps.
Cosmic mentors. That's a more comforting image than some of the anxieties we'll encounter later.
Definitely.
And finally, the teachings emphasize the expansion of consciousness, often through practices like meditation. Could this be a key to unlocking a greater understanding or even perception of these other realities or beings?
That raises a significant question. If our consciousness is indeed the lens through which we experience reality, then expanding that consciousness might just broaden our view of the universe and our place within it, potentially making us aware of other life forms in ways we don't currently comprehend. It's fascinating how this one source touches on the fundamental nature of existence, our active role in shaping it, and the potential influence of beings beyond our immediate perception.
It really sets a very philosophical stage for the more down-to-earth and societal concerns that surface in our next source. The RUAP subreddit discussion on the potential impact of UAP NHI disclosure.
Right, the societal impact.
This is where the theoretical meets the practical, or perhaps where the close encounters meet the headlines. What were some of the main worries and expectations that emerged from that online discussion?
The Reddit thread truly grapples with the potential societal earthquake that could follow an official acknowledgement of UAPs and the possibility of non-human intelligence. One particularly thought-provoking idea that arose connects back, actually, to Bashar's teachings on consciousness.
Oh, interesting.
The suggestion that disclosure might reveal consciousness as a more fundamental aspect of reality than the physical world, potentially shifting our understanding of the temporary nature of our physical bodies.
That's a profound shift in perspective to contemplate, and I can see how that alone could have a massive ripple effect. But the discussion also explored some more immediate and perhaps more fear-driven reactions, didn't it?
Absolutely. There were contrasting viewpoints on public reaction. Some participants expressed optimism, believing society would adapt, drawing parallels to historical paradigm shifts like, the realization that the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. Mm-hmm. However, others voiced serious concerns about widespread psychological distress, the possibility of abductions, and the feeling of being powerless in the face of advanced technology were significant anxieties.
Yeah.
With one particularly unsettling scenario depicting a parent's fear of their child being taken.
Oof, yeah. That really hits at a primal fear and underscores the potential for a very negative emotional impact. Beyond individual reactions, the thread also delved into how our established societal structures might be shaken by such a revelation.
Yes, several key areas of potential upheaval were discussed. Religious beliefs could face profound challenges if our understanding of creation and our place in the cosmic narrative is fundamentally rewritten.
Big implications there.
Huge. Governments might face intense public anger for what could be perceived as decades of deception and secrecy. Economic instability and the potential for global competition over any discovered alien technology were also significant concerns.
And the free energy angle.
Right, the idea of free energy technology, often linked to UAPs, and its potentially disruptive impact on our current energy-dependent economy was a particularly debated point, with some envisioning both utopian and dystopian scenarios.
It paints a picture of a real domino effect of potential changes. The Reddit discussion also touched on how recent global events, like the pandemic, might offer a cautionary tale about how society deals with fear and misinformation.
That's true.
Which doesn't necessarily inspire confidence for a smooth UAP disclosure.
That's a crucial observation.
Yeah.
The pandemic highlighted our societal vulnerabilities, and some contributors worried that UAP disclosure, if not handled carefully, could trigger similar waves of panic and misinformation. The thread even referenced the Brookings Institute paper from 1960.
The Brookings report.
To analyze the potential societal impacts of discovering extraterrestrial life, reminding us that these concerns have been considered within academic circles for decades.
It's sobering to realize that the potential shockwaves have been anticipated for so long. The discussion also raised the interesting possibility of a gradual, almost deniable form of disclosure already underway, with the increasing visibility of phenomena like drones and orbs.
Like a slow drip.
Exactly. It's like a slow acclimatization rather than a sudden shock.
Exactly. And there was also a more unsettling perspective explored. The idea that even with full government disclosure, we might still be vulnerable to actions by non-human intelligence that our governments are powerless to prevent.
Ooh, that's chilling.
Potentially leading to widespread fear and societal changes, regardless of official announcements. Ultimately, the RUAP discussion seemed to coalesce around the critical understanding that the impact of disclosure will depend heavily on what is actually disclosed. The difference between acknowledging unusual objects and confirming regular interaction with beings who may or may not have benign intentions is immense.
It truly highlights the multifaceted nature of this issue. Shifting from these broad societal anxieties, let's focus on an individual who has become a prominent voice advocating for greater openness, Luis Elizondo. His website clearly outlines his mission. What are the core principles driving his push for UAP disclosure?
Luis Elizondo's mission, as presented on his website, is deeply rooted in a commitment to government transparency regarding UAP. His driving belief is that open and honest communication about these phenomena is essential for fostering positive societal change.
Okay.
He emphasizes that truth and transparency are the most solid foundations for building a collaborative future, and his work aims to encourage a shift in mindset and policy to promote cooperation across all sectors: government, the public, academia, and the scientific community.
He's clearly a central figure in this ongoing conversation, and his involvement in the November 2024 House Committee hearing on UAP was prominently featured on his site, What made that particular event so significant?
That joint subcommittee hearing marked a pivotal moment because it signaled a renewed and more public commitment from the U.S. government to address UAP with increased transparency. Elizondo's participation was crucial as he brought his unique insider perspective to the discussion, advocating for a more open approach to understanding these phenomena and their potential implications for national security, scientific understanding, and public awareness.
And for those wanting to delve deeper into his experiences and insights, his book Imminent is mentioned as a New York Times bestseller. What are some of the key themes he explores in that work?
Imminent offers a first-hand account of Elizondo's experiences within the Pentagon's UAP investigation program, now known as Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. In the book, he details what he learned about these incursions into sensitive military airspace and the long-standing government secrecy surrounding the topic.
Right, the secrecy.
He delves into the potential ramifications for national security and our fundamental comprehension of the universe. It's presented not merely as a recounting of his time in the program, but as a call to action, urging us to confront some of humanity's most profound existential questions.
Moving from the call for disclosure to the often frustrating reality of accessing UAP data, as highlighted in Christopher Mellon's letter to the House Committee, he paints a picture of significant obstacles and a lack of transparency. What are the key issues he brings to light?
Mellon's letter points to a deeply troubling systemic problem: the consistent inaccessibility of crucial UAP data, not just to the public, but also to Congress, and in some instances, even to the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or ARO.
Even to AR, wow.
Yeah. He shares a compelling anecdote about a satellite intelligence report, likely involving infrared or radar data, clearly depicting a fast-moving UAP, a type of evidence even former Director of National Intelligence John Ratcliffe had publicly mentioned.
I remember that.
Yet when specifically requested, AARO initially claimed to have no record of it. It really makes you wonder about the disconnect in information flow.
That's a pretty significant discrepancy and suggests a real barrier to understanding. Mellon also points to other potential sources of withheld data, doesn't he?
He does. He specifically urges Congress to ensure full cooperation from other agencies, particularly the Air Force and the CIA, with AAR. He highlights NORAD, which tracks thousands of uncorrelated tracks annually, often leading to the scrambling of fighter jets for investigation.
Okay.
However, these incidents don't consistently appear to be reported to ARO. Mellon's core argument is stark. It's not a question of whether UAP information is being withheld, but rather how much remains in the shadows and whether it will ever be brought into the light.
So the question is the scale of it.
Exactly. He emphasizes the critical need for all relevant UAT data to be fully accessible to ARO to ensure comprehensive oversight and thorough investigation.
It sounds like navigating a real bureaucratic maze just to get to the basic data. It certainly fuels speculation about what else might be hidden from view. On a somewhat different but equally important note, our next source, an academic paper, explores the history of UFO research from a fascinating angle: the trends within UFO archival collections.
The archives.
This offers a unique perspective on how public interest and prevailing viewpoints have shifted over time. What were some of the key findings of this study?
This academic study provides a valuable historical lens by examining publicly accessible archives across North America. Researchers identified 62 distinct non-federal collections housed in various institutions, with 22 of them specifically dedicated to UFO research. The key finding was the evolving profile of those who created these collections. Initially, many came from individuals aligned with the early federal conclusions that UFOs were simply misidentified conventional objects. However, over time, the creators increasingly became those who were skeptical of these explanations, often holding beliefs that there was something more to the phenomenon, potentially including extraterrestrial involvement.
That's a notable shift in perspective reflected in these historical records. The paper also highlights a growth in UFO-related publications and the emergence of dedicated research groups over the years.
Indeed. The study observed a clear increase in UFO-related publications beginning in the mid-1960s. This period also saw the rise of numerous UFO research organizations with diverse beliefs and structures. The Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, founded in 1969, stands out as the largest and longest-running, and it's the most frequently represented organization within these archives, appearing in over 20% of the collections. This really shows the growth of grassroots efforts to understand this phenomenon.
It's interesting to see that sustained public engagement and the development of these independent research networks. The paper also delves into a more sensitive and complex aspect: the inclusion of experiencer content within these archives, and the ethical considerations that come with it.
This is a crucial point. As UFO research evolved, so did the focus, with increasing attention given to individuals claiming direct experiences with UFOs or extraterrestrial beings. These accounts often involve deeply personal and sometimes traumatic experiences.
Understandably.
And the inclusion of this experiencer material raised significant ethical considerations for archivists. Issues surrounding privacy, the use of controversial memory retrieval techniques like hypnosis, and the potential for re-traumatization were paramount.
Right.
The paper specifically mentions the work of John E. Mack, a researcher known for his work with experiencers, and highlights the efforts made by institutions like Rice University to de-identify sensitive information to protect the privacy of individuals sharing these often difficult stories.
It's a powerful reminder that behind the data points and the theoretical discussions are real human stories and experiences.
Absolutely.
The study also looked at when these various collections were actually added to the archives. Were there any significant trends in this timeline?
Yes, the study revealed a notable surge in UFO-related collections being accessioned in more recent decades, particularly between 2010 and 2019. Interestingly, colleges and universities now hold the majority of these collections.
Oh, interesting.
While early collections often originated from individuals with ties to federal or military entities, which aligns with the initial government focus on the topic, the prevailing beliefs represented within the archives shifted over time, with more skeptical viewpoints gaining prominence after the mid-1970s.
So a real evolution.
A real evolution. The paper concludes by emphasizing the significant evolution of UFO research from a largely federal domain to a substantial body of non-governmental work, which is now even being acknowledged and explored by federal agencies and archives themselves. It's a fascinating historical arc.
It truly is a fascinating journey reflected in these collections, showcasing growing public engagement and a persistent questioning of official explanations. Now, shifting gears once more, let's look at how the online community on the RUFOs subreddit grapples with the often murky waters of UAP video authenticity.
Yes, the video analysis.
In an age where digital manipulation is increasingly sophisticated, what are some of the ways they try to separate genuine phenomena from elaborate fakes?
The Reddit discussion underscores the widespread skepticism that permeates online UAP videos, which is understandable given the ease with which convincing forgeries can be created. A common piece of advice within the community is to approach every video with a default assumption of fake or irrelevant unless you yourself witness the event.
Makes sense.
Users employ various critical thinking exercises. One particularly insightful approach is the Starlink test. The idea being that if a truly extraordinary and widely visible event occurred, you'd expect a significant volume of corroborating posts and videos, similar to when Starlink satellite launches are visible.
That's a clever way to establish a baseline expectation for publicly observable events. What are some of the specific red flags that Redditors often look for when analyzing these videos?
Several telltale signs often raise suspicion. These include the presence of what's often described as stupid music overlaid on the video,
The weird music.
which is frequently seen as an attempt to distract viewers from closer scrutiny. Overly crisp and perfect visual quality is also generally viewed with skepticism, as genuine, often unexpected sightings typically involve some degree of shakiness or blur. However, the discussion also readily acknowledges the increasing challenge posed by AI-generated content,
AI is changing everything.
which is becoming ever more adept at mimicking the characteristics of real footage, making detection increasingly difficult.
So the burden of proof for online UAP videos keeps getting heavier. The thread also mentions specific explanations that users have offered for certain videos, even those that might initially appear quite compelling.
Yes. In one instance, a user proposed that a particular video showing an unusual light effect on clouds could potentially be explained by commercially available sun lamp devices designed to create specific atmospheric lighting effects.
A sun lamp. Okay.
Other suggested explanations range from misidentified drones with unusual lighting configurations to reflections of satellite lasers, demonstrating a prevailing tendency within the community to first explore prosaic terrestrial explanations before considering more extraordinary possibilities.
Healthy skepticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The overall tone is one of healthy skepticism, acknowledging both the potential for genuine unidentified phenomena and the ever-present risk of hoaxes and misinterpretations.
It seems like a digital age version of trust but verify taken to an extreme level. Now, let's pivot to a very different realm of perspective. The channeled wisdom of Abraham Hicks, as presented in a YouTube transcript. What insights do they offer on the topic of aliens and extraterrestrial life?
Abraham Hicks, channeled by Esther Hicks, offers a viewpoint that aligns with their broader teachings on the power of consciousness, the law of attraction, and our ability to shape our own reality.
Right, the law of attraction stuff.
Regarding communication with extraterrestrial beings, they suggest that it might occur through what they describe as blocks of thought and conveyed emotions, a process they suggest might be similar to how Esther herself experiences the channeling process.
That's an intriguing parallel. It suggests a form of communication that transcends conventional language as we understand it. What are some of the other core Abraham Hicks principles that might have relevance to our understanding of extraterrestrial life or potential contact?
A central tenet is the profound power individuals possess to mold their own reality, what they refer to as mold script my life. They emphasize the concept of the vortex, a state of vibrational alignment where our desires already exist in a state of being.
The vortex, okay.
While we may not consciously grasp the full extent of what we've created on a vibrational level, it's there, awaiting manifestation. Abraham Hicks stresses that the true joy of life isn't solely in the final outcome, but in the thrill of life, that receptive state where we joyfully witness the unfolding of our desires.
Like enjoying the process.
Exactly. Think of it like tuning a radio to the right frequency to receive a clear signal.
So it's as much about the journey of creation and anticipation as it is about the final manifestation. How might this apply to our understanding of or potential encounters with extraterrestrial life?
The transcript suggests that focusing on feeling good is a key to achieving clarity and attracting desired outcomes, which could extend to a greater understanding of our connection to a broader reality, potentially including extraterrestrial life.
So feeling good attracts understanding.
The idea is that if we vibrate at a frequency of curiosity, openness, and even joy, when we contemplate the possibility of other life, we might become more receptive to perceiving or understanding phenomena that currently lie beyond our conscious awareness. The emphasis is very much on our internal state as the primary driver of our external experiences.
It's a very inward-focused approach to what seems like a fundamentally external phenomenon. Finally, we have a brief glimpse into Yahil channeling from a TikTok video. This represents another form of channeled information, but with its own distinct character. Who are the Yahil, and what was the key message shared in this particular excerpt?
The TikTok video features Yahil channeling by Rob Gothia, who describes the Yahil as a hybrid extraterrestrial race. The excerpt shared a specific technique that is purported to facilitate conscious contact with them.
A technique for contact.
Yes. It's mentioned that this information comes from a galactic ambassador course focused on establishing connections with various galactic races, suggesting a more structured approach to seeking extraterrestrial interaction.
And this isn't an isolated instance, is it? The TikTok video also mentions an upcoming panel event featuring various channelers, including Daryl Anka, who channels Bashar, and Rob Gothia himself.
Exactly. The mention of this event, scheduled for Sedona in 2025, underscores the continued and significant interest within certain communities in channeled information related to extraterrestrial contact. It suggests a desire for more direct forms of communication and a belief in the potential for establishing relationships with beings beyond Earth through these means.
It truly is a remarkable spectrum of perspectives we've explored in this deep dive, ranging from philosophical explorations of reality to very practical anxieties about societal upheaval. From the determined pursuit of transparency to the frustrating challenges of accessing information, and from the critical analysis of online evidence to channeled messages from realms beyond our everyday perception.
Indeed. You've expertly guided us through a comprehensive exploration, touching upon everything from the nature of consciousness and belief systems, as presented by Bashar and Abraham Hicks, to the very tangible, practical, and political hurdles surrounding UAP disclosure, as highlighted by Elizondo and Mellon.
Right, the practical hurdles.
And the fascinating historical evolution of how we've studied and archived these phenomena. We've even seen how the digital age adds its own layer of complexity to the search for answers.
And hopefully, for you listening, this deep dive has provided a valuable shortcut through these complex topics, offering some surprising insights and plenty of food for thought without leaving you feeling overwhelmed by information overload.
So as we bring this deep dive to a close, consider this. Reflecting on all these varied viewpoints, the channeled wisdom, the societal anxieties, the data roadblocks, the archival history, the online skepticism, the emphasis on our inner state, and the pursuit of conscious contact, What single aspect of the possibility of extraterrestrial life or its disclosure resonates most profoundly with you at this moment, and perhaps even more importantly, why?
Yeah, what sticks with you?
What further questions does this exploration spark within you about the fundamental nature of reality and our place within the vast and mysterious cosmos? We encourage you to continue delving deeper into these sources or to explore the many fascinating related avenues that this deep dive has opened up for you.